Good afternoon, everyone. This is Alan Hughes. I'm the Solutions Director at Ascari. I'm just waiting for a number of other people to log in, so we will start the presentation in about 1 minute's time. Good afternoon, everyone. Again, it's Alan here from Ascari. As I say, I'm the Solutions Director at Ascari, and I'll be joined with my colleague Rosie from Boyum shortly, who I'll introduce. And today's webinar is all about just making the most out of the Boyum B1 Usability Package, which is something that we've always encouraged our customers and new customers to always invest in. It's one of those fantastic packages that can be used for so much. And today's session is really all about just understanding with Rosie what good examples that people have used Boyum B1 Usability Package for, and really starting to understand the art of the possible, because there's an awful lot we can do with this. The flexibility it gives to SAP Business One is enormous. So as I say, I'm Alan Hughes. Some of you will already know me. I run the commercial side of Ascari and have a team to help me with that. And Rosie is one of my esteemed colleagues at Boyum, who I've worked with for quite a number of times now over the years, who historically has been involved in implementing SAP Business One, so understands the solution really well, but also she understands the whole range of the Boyum product portfolio extremely well as well. So I'm going to unmute Rosie so she can introduce herself. Hello, Rosie, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Good morning, everybody.
Yeah. Well, it's afternoon to most of us, but yes. Just Rosie isn't losing her mind. She's based in Atlanta in the United States, so that's why we went for the afternoon slot. But just to finish on this very small slide introduction, Rosie, it's probably worth just highlighting who Boyum are. You know, I'm certainly not going to read all these stats on the screen to you, but it's hugely popular. And there's 850 business partners of SAP Business One globally, and I'll be very surprised if Boyum didn't talk to at least one of those in every country throughout the world. It's highly recognized as an essential investment in what is available within the Boyum, the Business One world. Really, the B1 Usability Package you can see here is actually one of only many things that Boyum can do for your business. So I'm going to make you a presenter now, Rosie, and let you take over.
Perfect.
So if you want to share your screen now.
Okay, yes.
Excellent.
Can you see my screen? You see my SAP, right? Yep. Okay, everybody, good morning. Like as Alan said, I'm based out of Atlanta. That's why I had to say good morning. And let me get my slides. I have it on my other screen. So I was just going through it. What I'm going to do today, we're going to talk a little bit about the usability package. Some of you maybe have it already. If you don't, definitely get back with Alan. It's really, like he said, to me, it's a must. I used to implement SAP Business One. And with the usability package, your everyday task is so much easier, and you really can customize your SAP the way you want it. Okay? We are all about user experience. We want to make sure the system works for you and not you for the system. So we are the biggest solution provider. We do get awards from SAP a lot of times because of this solution and other solutions. And one thing, if you don't have it yet, and if you are worried about upgrading SAP to a new version, is it gonna give you problems? Absolutely not. We are the biggest solution provider. We work very close with SAP at all times. If there is a new product coming out with SAP, we make sure ours are totally compatible. And a lot of times we actually maybe find something on the SAP side and have to tell them before they roll out their new version. So this is a very smooth transition, and Alan knows it from his current customers. The upgrade is never a problem. So what I'm going to do today, I'm not going to demo it to you. What I have about 9-10 examples I would like to show you what you can do and kind of talk about it, how it is set up. This is actually one of the more complex setup, but it's absolutely doable. But this is something that's very much liked by customers. If you're a customer and you have badges, for example, you are you have batch items. You know, when you do a delivery, you have to sit there and you have to select the batch one by one for each item. Takes a lot of times. What if you can just create a button on the screen and click on it and the system does it for you? So we are we are all about automations and let the system do stuff for you. So this is the user. This is my SAP Business One. Also for the ones who don't have it yet, it comes with dashboards. We have many dashboards out of the box. We also have a new one that just came out a few months ago, I think the end of last year, that we have a calendar here where you can actually drag and drop your documents and change the due date on it. We also have a Kanban board now. Okay, so this is newer widgets we added the last few months. Okay, but let's go back to my example, to my batch example. So if I go to sales AR and I go to delivery, I'm going to pull up a customer and I'm going to look for some batch items right here. So I have those three, they are my batch items. And usually what happens, as you all know, if you do batches, you go in here, you click add, and then my screen comes up. And now I'm going to go ahead and select the batches for my items. Takes a lot of times. Imagine you have 50 lines. Imagine you have a lot of lines. So you can put in a logic. Of course, in my case, I look at the date, the oldest date, and watch this. I created a button. To create a button is very simple. And now the system does it for me. It selects the batch. Never forget, I had this customer. It was in the UK, and she implemented it also. And then when she saw me next, she said, Rosie, this is the greatest thing. I just get up, get a cup of coffee because I have so many lines. And when I come back, all the batches have been assigned. So how did I make this? So in the usability package, and I don't know the audience if some are advanced or brand new, so I'm going to share do a broad overview. You can create the button just with the right click. Okay, right here, those are the buttons for this screen. This one is not active, and here is a button, and I just call it batch. That's all I do. And what I'm attaching on this one, this is a little bit advanced, okay? What I'm attaching actually is a SQL condition, okay? Because it's going to select the items. They are inventory item batch managed, as you see here. And then I'm going to have it go through the lines. Okay, so my SQL condition, and then I have it go through the lines, and I created a macro. And the macro is actually that universal function, they're called universal function, which is going to activate the window, which is going to focus on the quantity, open this the selection window. So all the clicks you usually do manually, the system does it for you. Okay. So that's how this is set up. You have a SQL condition, batch manage item, and then you go through the lines, and then it opens the window and enters all the information for the batch. It does it for you. Okay, so that's one of the good example. Very, very powerful, very much liked with our customers. The next one, automation. Again, we are a lot about automation, as I mentioned. For example, if I don't know, here in the States, sometimes you have a lot of turnover in the accounts payable department, maybe. And sometimes it's cumbersome to go to banking, outgoing payment, and there's so many clicks to it. So what if you put a button on the AP invoice? Because if you have to maybe really quickly pay an invoice whatsoever, you just click on a button, and instead of you clicking through all this outgoing payment clicks, you can do it with one click. So let me show you. If I go back to SAP, and in this case I'm gonna go to AP invoice, that's where I have it set up. And this again, just so you know how you can automate your steps, your clicks in SAP Business One. I'm gonna pull up an open one really quick. And they're probably super old, but that's okay. I'm gonna pull this one up, and there is an invoice right here, and it's open. So I have a button here, again, outgoing payment. And what I'm gonna do here, I'm just gonna click here, and it's gonna go through it. Look, it selects the correct invoice, it goes through it, and it's completed. There we go. It gets me out, it closes the screen. Oh, I could have closed this screen too. And here is my check I can get printed. And imagine with our print and delivery, if you have a printer still with there's only checks in there, you can actually schedule it so it prints automatically, of course. And actually it did it in my case. If I go to my email really quick, you see I actually had it scheduled that it automatically emails me the outgoing payment to the vendor maybe. So it did it all automatically, and this was done with print and delivery. Here's my outgoing payment, 337. And if I go back to my invoice, I took a different one, 337, did I prove? You will see it is closed now. Took a different actually. Okay, so this is stuff you can do. Click a button and let the system do it for you. So how did I do this? I'm going to show it to you. I'm going to go to Edit Function button. There's my outgoing payment. Again, button, very simple to do. And I attached a universal function. And again, this was a macro again. And I'm going to activate the outgoing payment screen, and then I transfer the card code, business partner code, transfer the invoice number. Then I have another UF within that macro, because that's possible here with the usability package, and so on. Okay, so it went through it and just paid that invoice. And as you see, it was closed then. So that's another.
Can I just say, Rosie, this is where I really love the B1 Usability Package, because you can tailor it to your own specific requirements. You can put your own language in around buttons. You can make it more friendly to users. But that automation, that level of automation is fantastic, because the amount of time it takes to input information into any ERP system is just mind-numbingly boring. So, you know, anything to take away that boredom means less errors, and the system's doing it for you automatically. It's really, really good to use. Exactly.
Absolutely agree. Now let's move to validation. So automation we love. I mean, you know, let the system do it for you. In validation, you want to have good data in there, because you want to run reports. You want to make sure the data is correct. You want to maybe create your own dashboard, you know, with certain data, and you want to make sure it's up to date. Okay, so validation. So there are several things I'm going to show you, kind of what I use in trainings, and people really like it. And you will see it's actually a combination of validation and automation. And that's the beauty of it. You can combine with the usability package all those different functions. You combine them and it gets so powerful. So let's go back to SAP Business One. We're going to calculate shipping cost, promotion item. Okay, that's what we're going to do. I'm going to go now to sales order, and you will see that my screens look with the buttons and all that stuff a little bit different. I have the cancel button up here, for example, because I didn't want to have it on the bottom, because people by accident hit cancel all the time, and so on. So, but what we're going to do now is this. So first of all, look at this. I have a validation running. Right away, I put in a customer. Hey, this customer has no credit available. Is it a negative? Because my customers have a credit limit set, and it tells me right away. If I go to a customer that has actually, if I would know, look, this one, nothing comes up, because this one is within the credit limit. Imagine this, you have this set for your sales employee. If you do credit limits, let me do MaxiTech, I think it, if you do credit limits, the sales employee knows, hey, I'm doing a sales order again, but they're over the credit limit. I have to start collecting some money, right? So beautiful validation. And what this basically is, let me just cover this because it's actually the next slide, so we can go a little bit backwards. It's a validation. And if I go here, a stop sign, hide. So there's several pre-configuration, but you validate the stop sign, if and else statement. Okay, just you look at the credit line, and if it's over the credit limit, you show the stop sign, which I created, a Boyum field. Show this field I created, and the other one, hide this field. That's how simple it is. It's really not much to it, I know, but you see how powerful this is. So it's a validation, and this is a label I'm putting on depending what the validation finds. Okay, I really do like that a lot too. So let's go in here. So I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna add some items. So you, for example, wanna add shipping. So you want to do it automatically. You want the system to know what to do. So I'm going to add shipping here. And you see right here, it added a shipping item. And I might make sure it has a price for $75. Okay, so I have an item in there, shipping. You, of course, could put it on here too. It works both ways. My experience was sometimes customer wanted to have it within their sales order. Okay, absolutely, you can do it that it fills it in here also. So I'm going to delete it, and I'm going to change my quantity. I have it based on quantity. And watch what it does now. And actually, where is my, let me make it even bigger. I want to see my discount field. I'm going to click shipping. Now I get a message. You can do a message or you don't do a message. The number of this item, of this document, is less than 20. I really should say it's between 10 and 20. That's how I have it configured. Do you want to add shipping with a 50% discount? Yep. And guess what it did? It added the same item, but with a 50% discount. Because my configuration said if it's 10 and under, they pay full. If it's between 10 and 20 items, it's going to be 50% discount. And let's see what it's going to do if it's more than 20 items. I'm going to click shipping. Here, the number of items of these documents is more than 20. Customer deserves a free gift. Okay, yes or no? Guess what it did? It did still add shipping because I wanted to, because I want the customer to see it's 100% discount, so they really didn't pay for it. And it added a free gift. Imagine that. I have it based on the quantity, but maybe you want to base it on the total, or you want to base it on a user-defined field which calculates the weight somehow, or whatsoever. But this is super, super powerful. You really can just go in there and click a button, and the salespeople don't have to think about it because the system has the logic in the backend and does it for you. So you have anything?
Yeah, I was going to say, Rosie, is all of this is brilliant. But what I'm looking at the people who are registered today, and we've got a mixture of existing customers with or without some Boyum solutions. We've got people who are just investing in an SAP Business One solution with us, or thinking of. And one of the things I did want to get across today is that we can teach, if you've got the right type of people in your organization, we can teach you to do this yourselves. You don't have to rely on Ascari consultants to do this work for you. So it's one of those things that a lot of our customers have been taught by us how to utilize this properly themselves, and you can deal with it in-house. So the choice is entirely yours. You can either have Ascari as your partner helping you, or you can choose to do it yourselves. That's the only point I wanted to get across, because I don't want anyone to think, oh yes, but we've got to spend many, many thousands of pounds with Ascari to get any of this done. That isn't the case. We can help you educate the right people in your organization to do a lot of this themselves.
Absolutely, a very good point, and that's true. And it's very simple to learn, guys. And we have a lot of samples on YouTube. If you go to Boyum samples, and you can just follow those steps. Absolutely, Alan is absolutely right. Okay, fourth example, we looked at it. We have a little label here. It tells me if the customer is over the credit limit, and it puts the amount right there. Accessible reporting, we all know we like reports. Everybody likes report. I like reports. This print screen actually shows a crystal report. So if you need something at your fingertips again, and we all want everything at your fingertips, you can just build a button on the business partner or on, let me go in here again, on the business partner or on a document and create a button and attach the report. In my case, I actually don't have a crystal report here, like on a print screen, but for example, let me show you this. This is really cool. I have an item report here. I probably pull all the items they've bought lately, so you see it's a lot the same item, but I could go in here, you can change, actually, I could change the quantity, and I actually could highlight the ones I want. It's the same, but, and then I select, and guess what? It feeds it into my sales order. So think about it. Maybe you want to put the top 50 items for this customer or whatsoever. And if you have a large inventory, you don't have to go in here and look for them, and you have it right here. Or, so this was one way. I like this one, select top items. I don't know the logic of a query. It's a query. You tell it what it should pull. And if I go in here, if you look at that, if I go in here, you can also go and look for the items. You can change again the quantity. And what I like on this one, because it has the checkbox, you know, and then I'm going to select, and it's going to feed it into your document. Beautiful. Have your reports at your fingertips. Very important to know. Yeah, you can do it like this, or you can build your own dashboards. You want to see what you want to see. Okay, and you of course can say, no, only Rosie can see this dashboard. And another thing, since I'm on dashboards, we also have a web dashboard. Think about it. You're building a dashboard, data from SAP. You are able to pull it up on the web. So imagine you have a big screen somewhere in a production area, in finance, and you want to have this big, you know, like the stock market, they have always the screens up, and you want people to be able to see certain information. So you just pull it up on a big screen and it refreshes automatically. And you have real data right in front of you. Okay, so that's dashboards again, but yeah, build your own reports and have it at your fingertips. Very, very powerful. Quick access, deal of the month. Oh, let's stay in there. So imagine you have a special running. It's the holidays, you have a special running, or maybe you have some item and have a special running, and you don't, you know, a lot of people order it, and then your sales employees have to go find it and put something in here and find those items. Automate it. You see my button, deal of the month? Or something, printer and paper. It's like you are in the printing industry, and you know everybody always orders copy paper with every order. So you can put a button here, watch this, deal of the month. It selects it and it adds it to my system. Or I say printer and paper, because this is something they always order. I'm sure they don't over order printer, always order printer, but I want you to get an idea. Have those shortcut buttons, and again, it's a button. Buttons is just takes you 30 seconds to create, but then we have different function. So if I go to the deal of the, let me go to, because I'm doing two things. Yeah, actually, let me go. I'm doing multiple things with deal of the month. Remember, I have a button, but underneath the button, I have a drop down. I can choose deal of the month or printer and paper. And if you go here, you know what it is? It's a macro. It's a macro, and it's adds that item. Okay. And also, and there's another UF in there, and I'm not going to get into detail, because if you're new, that wouldn't mean anything. And the printer and paper, it's easier for you to look at. Set my last line with this item. Remember, that was the printer and paper item. and set again. Okay. And then this is the quantity. I think, yeah, that's the quantity. So it's really simple. And like Alan said, you can learn yourself, and our documentation is really nice. We have documentation everywhere, and you can just, we have samples in there also. But it's so powerful, but it's really pretty simple to set it up. And also with the reports, it's a query. If you work in SAP already, you do a query, you just create the query through the usability package, and you can pull up this report. Same thing. Okay. So also very powerful examples. Automation, quick access. 7. So we almost are out of discount field, one of my favorites. And Alan, you know, every one of your customers, they run it, they love that. Validate your data. So maybe you do not want your sales employees to give a lot of discount because you don't make any money. And you know, you want to restrict it. And another thing is, I want you to know, if you create a button or a validation or a screen design, you can do it for certain users. So maybe you do a different validation for purchasing than for sales. You select the users who should be affected. Or you design the screen for purchasing, then for sales, then for inventory people. So you can do as many as you want. So that's how flexible it is. But let's do the discount field. Look at this. I have this huge order, right? And of course, I want to sell this, and I'm discount happy today because I really want to make this order happen. I want my commission or whatsoever. But you, as the manager, you know, you're like, you know what? I'm not making money, so I'm gonna validate my data, what people put in there. So think about this. So here's done. I look good. It's a big sales order. I'm going to click add. And guess what? You saw that? It's going through the whole line. So, and this is a very good example. I have a lot of lines in there. I have 12 lines in there. And it's telling me, hey, the following lines have more than 10% discount. Line 3, line 7, line 4, 11. It gives me the line number, the item code, and the item description. Of course, you don't need to do that. You decide what you want to show. The line number is enough, right? But I just did training, and we added the code and the description. You maybe even can put the quantity or the discount amount. It's up to you what you want to show. But guess what? They cannot add this document, because I don't allow it. I don't allow it. You get 2 choices. You can give them a warning, and then they would get a yes and no question. Yes, they want to continue. Or you block them, just like I did. Again, how is this set up? It's a this one is a little bit different. This one is not a button. You could do a button too to check that. I did it when they clicked the add button. And the way I set this up is a validation. It's a validation. And here it is. And it's a very simple validation. And I'm going to say when I press an item, you see this item pressed, the item 1, because this is item 1. Okay? And I have no condition. I want the system always check the discount field. Okay? And this is really, if discount field is more than 10, I want it basically to, remember the line number, the item code, and the description, I want it to collect it for me, basically. Okay. And then I'm going to say, there's my text, what it's going, hey, you are not allowed. The next lines have more than 10% discount. And here it's, so this syntax gives me the code, the line number, and the description. And you see right here, blocken. You can do also, as I mentioned, a question. Do you want to continue, yes or no? I'm not. I'm going to block the users because I need them to go back and change it 10% or under, and then they can add their sales order. Super, super powerful. Many customers like it because they see, okay, if I can do it on this column, I know I can do it on another column. Okay? So also a very powerful example. This one is Oh, copy from a header to line content-based document. This is really for you guys to know that you can actually take a document and copy it to another document. For example, this one, those are all inventory items, I believe. You can do an inventory transfer request. You see that? I have a button here and I can say inventory transfer request. So you don't have to go to modules and you go to inventory transfer request. It's a lot of clicks again. You just do it from here. So what this does, it goes in there, opens up the other document, copies all the lines over, and you saw I froze it. You saw that? I froze it. And then when it's finished, I say close it. Close the document and go back to this one. You, of course, can do it also that you are the one who clicks the add button finally. You can do it. Okay. So what is that? It is a macro again. If I go here, let's go to my button and let's go to my transfer request. So what I do is, first of all, I'm going to have my little SQL query. So it's inventory items. If there are inventory items, I want it to execute this. And my first pass, so see, this is what I do. The first thing I do is a macro. I'm going, look how simple it is. Those first 3 lines, I'm going to open the inventory transfer. I'm going to copy the business partner code, and I'm going to set the warehouse. First thing, because I only want to open the transfer window once. But then this is what I want to do for every line. And it is, see how simple. It transfer over the item code. I need the item code and the quantity, of course, right? Because the description I don't need, it's going to be a link to the item code. That's all I'm going to do. So this one is what I do one time, opening up the document, and this one I do for each line. And then I could have left it open and then I could have stopped. But what I do a final thing. I actually want the system to close it for me. Okay, click the add button and close the window. See how simple it is? So, and this is so powerful. You don't have to go to transfer request and you don't have to go look at the items. Very simple, very straightforward is that one. Okay. And of course, you could copy it over to a quotation or to another document. Okay. And validation, what is this? Oh, this is authorization. And let me see if I have this on my database. This was an example a customer asked us. They say, hey, if I have a certain item, I want it to trigger the authorization. Yes, you could do it with SAP, but with maybe a little bit easier with the usability package, because what we did here, let me see if I have this. Yeah, you see right here, I have this authorization, right? Authorization user-defined field, and it's set to no. Actually, let me just get out and start from scratch really quick. So you see the items, so I don't have so many, and I'm going to do MaxiTech again, and I'm going and select a couple items and my date, and I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna click add. Perfectly fine, right? I do it on a sales order, of course. Think about purchasing or whatsoever. So I'm going to do another one. I'm going to go here, perimeter technologies, and I'm going to select a couple items again, and I'm going to select this 4 item because it's based on an item. Again, just to give you an idea. And check now, when I click add, I want you to check this user-defined field, the N. I'm going to click add. Delivery date. I'm gonna click, see, it changed to yes already. And guess what? It triggered my authorization. Okay, it's a wrong approval template, but so it says this one needs to go to authorization now because I have a certain item in there. I said to the user they cannot add the document unless it gets approved. So now think about it, what it could be. There we go. Here's my authorization. SAP came in already because I'm the approver on top of it. Okay, so think about it. So this is based on an item. What somebody wanted that, and then you know what this customer wanted. Then he had print and delivery kit kick off also a message to him, send him an email, hey, you have a new authorization there. Okay, so those are the example. Be creative. Think about it. Oh, what can I automate so I don't have to do all those clicks? This example, the last example, I do have 10 examples, is actually print and delivery. Just so you guys know, the usability package is your add-on. Then we have print and delivery. To me, also almost a must, where you can automate your emailing, meaning you can schedule it. You never have to touch a button once you have it configured to send your customer maybe a sales order, an invoice, account balance, by the end of the month, because you can schedule all that automatically. And this one is an example. Actually, I show you one I have here in my draft email. So all this are done with print and delivery, meaning it does it automatically. Of course, you can still do mass delivery manually, but if you can schedule it and it does it for you, like every hour the new sales orders go out, or every 30 minutes, and you can do also put a logic in there. For example, this here right now is a sales order. I'm sorry, it's German. It's a German business partner. I have it set to German. So this is what I use to send out the sales orders. Think about it. But I have a logic, again, a validation in there where the system looks if a sales quotation it is, if it's a new customer, this one is a new customer, so automatically the system knows I'm gonna send a different email because it's a new customer, it's the first quote to the customer. So it says already, we want to welcome you as a partner, and I'm attaching 2 more things, not just the quote. I'm attaching 2 other things because you want to show the customer what else you guys sell or what other services you provide. And this is set up that the user doesn't have to think, oh, what kind of email I'm going to send him? What kind of email? It's an if and else statement again. If it's a new customer, I send this email. If it's existing customer, I send the other email. Okay? And you can schedule that. But also, to put logic in there, it could be maybe if a sales order is more than $10,000, you want it automatically to create also an activity for you to follow up in 3 days. Yes, you can automate that. You don't have to think about creating an activity. You can do that, okay? And one of my favorite is this one. Also, I mean, there's so many things you can do with print and delivery. Has different license, okay? It's a module within the usability package. Is this one. I know if I have somebody in here, everybody's gonna say yes now. If you send a statement to your customer, the first thing they're gonna say is, oh, I didn't pay it because I don't have the invoice. I don't have a copy of the invoice. Please send me the invoice. So you get a lot of emails, you get a lot of phone calls, and it's really cumbersome. You have to print the invoice, you email it manually, and so on. This here is a perfect setup to run once a month automatically, maybe on the 25th of each month, because you want to collect money right before month end. What this does, it puts a grid. You can design this the way you want it, but we have this example. It puts a grid into the email with the open invoices, and guess what? It attaches one PDF with all those invoices. This is a huge time saver for you, not to get phone calls or emails. This is a perfect example with print and delivery. And then this one comes out of the box. This is really our statement. We don't use SAPs. So what it does, it sends them a nice report and shows everything that's overdue in red and what's not due in green. It's an older email. That's why the date's a little bit funky. But just to let you know, and again, put your logic in there. Maybe if you send an invoice or a sales order to me, I want a totally different form, and you don't want to think about that. You want the system to pick the correct form, and because it knows, because you configured this, or for a certain customer group, and so on. Okay? So that was basically my 10, 10 examples. You know, you don't need developers, you don't need coding. Everything is really simple. We have a lot of e-learning on YouTube. Like Alan said, they can train somebody in your company and is in charge of it. And I get in trouble sometimes with them because I hear that they cannot stop developing something because it's so much fun to have this control and set up validations and all that stuff. I always say it's like a puzzle, you know. So I think, Alan,
I think, I was going to say, Rosie, I think one of the key things here as well is that it isn't bespoking SAP Business One in any shape or form. It's designed in the same SDK as SAP Business One itself, isn't it? So it upgrades with Business One. It's just, for me, an absolute no-brainer for customers to help themselves become a more efficient and profitable business. It's definitely a case of that. I do not know any of our customers that, when they're buying SAP Business One from us, do not take BOIM, at least B1 up and print and delivery with that solution, because it just gives that flexibility to offer what you need in the way you want to work, as opposed to the way SAP are telling you must work. And it certainly provides a huge amount of time savings and cost efficiencies. Yeah.
Correct. So if there are any questions, Alan, if you maybe unmute the audience, I can't, I don't see. And, or if you would like to put a question in the chat, either way works for us.
Yeah, if anyone would like to highlight it on your screen, you should be able to type in any questions or just flag that you'd like to ask a question. I'll unmute you. More than happy to do so. A copy of this webinar will be sent to you via social media and possibly email as well after the event. But if you wanted to talk to Rosie or myself or any one of the commercial team at Ascari about things at more at length, more than happy to organise that again after this event too. Yeah, so I've got one question. Can we email a copy? Yes, absolutely, certainly will, Nick, no problems at all. Any other questions from anybody? I don't think so, Rosie. I think we've got a wrap.
Wow.
Thank you so much for everyone for attending. Yeah, thanks everyone for attending. Hopefully it's been, it certainly will get the brain firing, because it really is about understanding what you could possibly do. And that's one of the things that we bring to the table at Ascari, is that our consultants are trained to actually make you think of things you may not have thought of before. Because as a business, you will run as you run, because that's the way you run. Exactly. You know what I mean? It's very much a case of, sometimes it takes someone with a different point of view and experiences of other businesses to give you great tips on how to make that next step into doing something in a better way for you.
Correct. And also, if we just really quick, Alan, if Alan can also request a trial license for you if you want to test it out for 20 days. So you can do that also. Please contact Alan, and then you have a trial and you can start building some stuff and get a good feel for it. Okay? Absolutely. Thank you, Rosie. Everybody. Thanks everyone for attending, and we'll speak to you again soon. Thanks again. Bye-bye.